Sorry. Okay. Previously we went through the basics, editing, saving, and setting the language and all of that. Now we're gonna go through the backbone, the simple structure of HTML. Okay. Now here I've got a. Don't mind this little drawing. We're gonna get to the drawing in a minute. Okay. Right here I've got a page, a new page in Notepad++ open. Okay. Now firstly, when I'm working with HTML, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna set the language first to HTML before I can define anything in here. Okay. Now when I'm working with HTML, I have to put this first, HTML. Okay, and then this. Always, this has to be the beginning and this has to be the end. Now everything HTML that I'm going to be having is going to begin here and it's going to end here. You can see if I close it there and I open it there, anything that is in between here will be read by the browser when it's actually interpreting what I've written. Okay, now let's begin doing something here. Okay, now this is my code. Now here, if you look over to this little drawing of mine that I have here, this is basically the way in which your code has to look in HTML. Okay, it has a head, it has a body, and then something after that. Okay, now notice that it also needs a name. Okay, now here over to my web page, I'm gonna give it a name. This is basically the title of my web page. Okay, now for you to create a title, you're gonna open this and you're gonna say title. So you're gonna do that. Then you're gonna go over and type a title for the web page. In this case, I can call my web page James. Okay, I'm gonna call mine James. Right, then I'm gonna close it. If you're gonna open a tag, you also need to close the tag. Okay, so title opens there, it closes there, which means that the title is gonna begin there and it's gonna close there. Okay, now that's my title. Now the title, of course, if you look at this arrow, it's actually pointing towards the head. Okay, meaning that the title will go within the head. Okay, so if I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna edit this, I'm gonna just say head. Okay, head is gonna start there and it's gonna end \head. Anything with the backslash is a closing tag. Okay, so now the title is in the head. That's basically what it means. In the head we have the title. That's all we have. Okay, that's pretty much the basics so far for the title and all that. Alright, now if I run you over to this thing, the title is actually this thing that appears right there. That's the title. Okay, now let's go back to this. Now in this case my title is James. If we go back to that example, the title is HTML code. The title appears there, nowhere else. Okay, there. Now back to this thing. So we have the head. Now let's give it a body. Okay, body begins there, body closes, or rather ends here. Okay, it will begin there and end there. Okay, anything in between will be read as the body. Okay, now in here let's insert something like a heading. Okay, now in HTML there are heading styles. Okay, we have heading style 1, heading style 2, 3, 4, all the way until I think it's 4 or 6, somewhere there. Okay, now we have multiple heading styles. Now the largest heading style you can have is a heading style 1. Okay, in this case let's just put a heading style 1. To put a heading style, it's H, and then the style number, in this case it's heading style 1. Okay, and then close it. Then our heading is gonna say let's just say who is James. Okay, and then of course anything with a beginning should have an ending, so our heading will close there, and it is heading style 1. Then we're gonna close that. Okay, now we have the heading. Okay, now in the body you can notice that the body is quite big. You could put a lot of things. You could put a heading, you could put a couple of paragraphs, even pictures. Now we will not do pictures yet, but we'll do pictures later on. Okay, let's put a paragraph. To put a paragraph, we're gonna open this. To put a paragraph, we use the p tag and then that, and that's it about the paragraph. Now let me go ahead and erase this. We're going to work. I'm gonna put in some notes there if we need. Okay, now if we have a paragraph here, let's type in something. John, no, this is James. James is a very good boy, and put some exclamation marks there. Now of course what has a beginning should have an ending, so the paragraph closes there. That's now let's actually have a look at how this, let's see how this looks. Let's save this as James. Now remember, it should be a hypertext markup language file. Okay, then save. Now if I go over to this side, I should be able to see James open right there. If I double click this, I should have James open there. Now let me do this. I'm gonna put this on this side and James there. Firstly, our title, it's shown right there. Okay, then we have inside the body we have who is James, which is a heading style number 1, who is James. Then we have a paragraph. James is a very good boy. James is a very good boy. Okay, nice and easy. Now we could put another one, and we're just gonna say this, another paragraph. We're gonna say James said hello world, another exclamation mark, and let's close this there. And then we're gonna go ahead and save this. Okay, now if we go this side and we refresh it, we should be able to see the change right there. Okay, nice and easy. These are pretty much the basics here. This is just the bread and bun. Okay, so we have that. Let's try another heading style. Let's create another heading. We're gonna do that. Let's do heading style 3. Heading style 3. Let's do heading style 3. The heading will say James says goodbye. Okay, now we'll close this. Since it's heading style 3, we'll close that. We'll go ahead and save it and refresh it. Now notice the difference in size. Heading style 1 is actually the largest. As you go up those numbers all the way until 6, they get smaller and smaller. In this case, we have heading style 3, which is quite smaller than heading style 1. Okay, now this is quite important. Okay, so now here, this is what we have so far. This is the bread and bone. This is the basics. Okay, we're gonna, in the next section, we're going to be working with this. We're going to create this from scratch. So I'll see you in the next bit.